and sharing my screen. So hello and welcome everyone to Apostille TV. My name is Bill Soroka, and I'm going to tell you a little bit more about me in just a few minutes. But I want you to say hi to my co-host, Judi Lawrence, who many of you know as the Queen of Apostilles.
Everybody.
Jude, you want to introduce yourself a little bit?
Sure. My name is Judi Lawrence, and I am excited to be here today. I'll be able to tell you a little bit more about myself as we go along. Most of you do know me. And as Bill said, this is we love doing this. We love giving you some kind of an outline of how this all works.
Yeah.
And we will stay here as long as you want us to. As long as you have questions, we will stay here to answer them. And that's it. So
Yeah.
I'm taking it back to Bill.
All right. So Judy and I have been collaborating for a few years now, starting with a podcast about apostilles that turned into a faculty position for her at our Notary Business Builder. It's an older advanced training program we had. But we also recently released a best-selling book called Your Passport to Apostilles, and it's 116 tips to build a thriving business as an apostille agent. And we wrote that because we love sharing information with you that will help you succeed. So I want to thank you for being here, sacrificing your Thursday morning or afternoon, depending on where you are, to learn something new, because today's show is all about you and how to grow a lucrative line of service and revenue in your notary business, acting as what's called an apostille agent or an apostille facilitator, assisting the public with international document authentication. And I know that's a mouthful right now, but I assure you that by the end of this workshop today, you're going to have a much better foundational understanding of how all this works and how you can earn revenue helping people through it. We're going to have some fun while we learn today, blending elements of classic television into the conversation. And just like TV changed the way that we communicate, we entertain, we broadcast information around the globe, your apostille business can have a global reach too, one that's genuinely a business without borders. So, Jude, you want to take this one?
Yeah, so I want to know first, how many people in this call are already commissioned notaries? If you're a commissioned notary, put a 1 in the chat. Okay, so we've got a lot of notaries on here. See
That
Bill,
makes sense.
see all the ones?
Yeah, I see him.
Okay, so first person that answers, where must your little notary feet be? Where do they have to be in order for you to conduct a notarization?
In your state. Boy, who nailed that? Lorna.
Okay, Lorna Blue.
Yeah.
Yay, one of my students. Yay. I love you, Lorna Blue.
That's
So,
so right.
okay,
So
but she's correct.
in
She's correct.
most, yeah, exactly. In most instances, guys, nearly all of them, in fact, your feet have to be planted in the state of your commission in order for you to notarize anything. And that means you have to be in your state to generate revenue. And we've really made do with this supremely inconvenient rule for decades. But I want you to know what we're going to teach today. And becoming an apostille agent removes that geographical burden. You can be an apostille agent in any state while your feet are planted in any state or any country for that matter. In fact, your feet don't have to be planted at all. You can be mid-flight between adventures, sipping Mai Tais at the beach, or yes, even on a 3-hour tour. You can facilitate apostilles from anywhere. And that's what we're going to share with you today on Apostille TV. So here's what you can expect over the next 30 to 40 minutes. We're going to show you what an apostille actually is, why we use them, and I'll give you a little history about how they came about. And then we're going to talk about why people in the modern age need them and use them a lot. You'll see that there's millions of these things issued every year. And then we're going to walk you through the process of obtaining an apostille and then show you how you as an apostille agent can be a beacon of light in this process and earn revenue helping people navigate the apostille process. Then we'll share some additional resources for those of you that want to go further in your learning. And we're going to open it up to live Q&A with Judi and I so we can answer all your questions. All right, Judi, come on up and now really
Okay.
introduce yourself to everybody.
Bill, okay, but Bill, can I say something first?
Sure.
Okay, I think that this is just a thrill to have made a TV station where all of our notaries can tune in and learn something that I love and I know you've grown to love. So I just want to say this is really a thrill. All right. If I wrote a book about myself, I would title it Improbable because it's improbable that I would be here today doing this. Most of you know, a lot of you know, I was a paralegal and I thought I'd be just doing that for the rest of my life. And then I was let go, and for a period of time I mourned, and then I decided I better use my notary skills to make a living. I had no idea that I'd become a teacher. I had no idea I'd become an author. I had no idea I would do any of these things. Just like everybody in this room, I needed to make money. The rest is kind of a dream, a good dream. I founded Center City Notary. And again, I don't, not never to become this entrepreneur person or an author or a speaker. I needed to make money. And then I started to make money. And that's when I fell in love with this thing called Apostilles. And shortly after I learned the business and I started to find myself really, really getting good at it, I decided that I wanted to teach it to anyone who wanted to learn. I kind of think that I was the trailblazer a little bit in this thing because when I started to teach it, I don't think a lot of people were doing it. And now I think a lot of people are doing it. Anyway, I want to say that I never get tired of your emails. I never get tired of people emailing me to say thank you, you changed my life. um, I never get tired of people telling me, change the course of my whole business. And about a year and a half ago, I guess, I wanted to collaborate with Bill because I wanted my course to be, I wanted it to be, Bill always laughs, watch him when I say this, but I wanted it to be sexier. I wanted it to be more digital. I wanted it to have different things. I wanted it to be, more updated. And Bill and I came up with this wonderful course, which we're going to tell you all about. And the good part about it is, just like every one of you in this room, by doing this, you're going to what? Make money. So I'm going to throw this back to Bill for a minute and let him introduce himself.
Yeah, thank you so much, Judi. I am Bill Soroka, the founder of notarycoach.com, author of 5 best-selling notary books and 2 non-notary books that still help further my mission to help notaries serve more customers, make more money, cultivate more joy, and build a thriving business that doesn't rely solely on mortgage interest rates and the housing economy. There really is life beyond loan signings. And the key to success in this business and really all businesses is to diversify your revenue streams. And today's show is going to help you do just that. And I've had a lot of business experience. And throughout 27 years, 28 years of it, I've learned now to listen to those who have the results that I want. A lot of false teachers out there. A lot of people just rolled out of bed one day and became an influencer on social media. And it's tempting, but I've learned to listen to those who have the results that I want. And that's why it's such a pleasure to share the stage with Judi. Because if you want to learn how to build an empire with international document authentication, see, I told you it was a mouthful.
Mhm.
Watch her. She does this all day, every day. When I say every day, I mean it. Judi's 7 days a week in the trenches doing this work with you. So grab a pen and paper, take some notes, because this may very well be the first day of the future of your own new empire. So, Judy, you want to tell them biggest question we get is how to pronounce this word?
Yeah, apostille is a French word meaning certification. Now, there are lots of ways to pronounce apostille. A common one that I hear a lot of is apostle. I hear that
Or
a lot.
definitely, and I hear apostille.
But my personal favorite is Apostille. Lots of people call and they ask me if they can get an Apostille. Now, I'm adding one little thing in here. He'll kill me, but I'm going to do it anyway. Many people, when they call, they don't know Apostle. They don't know Apostille. They don't know Apostille. They will call you and say, somebody just told me I need something like an and then it's up to you to get on the phone
Some
and
sort of A word.
right.
Yes.
So, Bill, go ahead. Your favorite.
Yeah, my favorite is still apostille because it rhymes with unrestricted fees, and that's what we named our podcast. So I'm rolling with it.
Okay.
And that unrestricted fees part is a unique benefit about facilitating this kind of paperwork. So I want to make a quick side note, and this is very important. Make a note of this. You are not restricted by state legislated notarization fees like you are as a notary. And we're going to circle back to this a moment. And this is where this unrestricted fees part comes in. But really, there's two ways to pronounce the word that are going to work, right, Jude?
Absolutely. And really, the truth of the matter is whether you're saying apostille, apostle, apostille, as long as you get the job done, it's pretty cool.
It works.
What do you think, Bill?
Yep, I totally agree. So before Judy tells you what an apostille actually is, I want to break in here and give you a brief history lesson, hopefully with some fellow Golden Girls fans.
Yay,
So
Sophia.
we'll dive in here. So picture it, The Hague, Netherlands, 1961. A group of people organized what's called the Hague Conference, otherwise known as the Apostille Convention, to help streamline the process of international document authentication because back then the embassy legalization process was cumbersome and it was time consuming. So it was really jamming things up. So they whip up this apostille treaty with some new rules and certificate requirements. And then they present it to these different countries with this offer to either join or sign up for the Hague Treaty. Now, if the country does sign the treaty after a certain period of time, they become what we call a Hague country. See how that works? And then their documents can be processed with apostilles, which makes the things work faster, cheaper, and more efficiently. Now, if they have not signed the treaty, then guess what we call them?
Okay.
Non-Hague countries, right? And then the documents are still processed, but they do it the old way, which is called embassy legalization. We're not going to focus too much on that today because we're here to talk mainly about apostilles that are performed for Hague countries. But one thing I really want you to take away today is that countries are still signing the Hague Convention. In fact, Canada just joined, what was it, last year?
Mm-hmm.
China joined the year before that in 2023. I mean, these are big countries that we might just think, of course, they're part of the Hague Treaty, but they're not. There's a lot of countries who still have to sign up. And as Judy shares more today about what an apostille is, I want you to think of it like this. Just like you might need a passport to visit and move around a foreign country legally, many documents need special certification too. So think of an apostille almost like a passport for important documents to be used in a foreign country. So as you think about that, let's listen to Judy get into even more detail with you.
Well, all right. Keeping it brief, which many of you know I'm not real good at. An apostille is a special certification offered by what is commonly called the competent authority, which we'll talk about in a minute, that authenticates the seals and the signatures of officials on public documents. Now, this is interesting, and a lot of people don't know this. but the piece of paper itself is really called an allonge. And everybody always puts in the chat, how do you spell it? And it's Allonge. It's an allonge. It's really, Bill, can you bring me the apostille and can you make it, can you put what's his name on there?
Oh, go gadget
Inspector, can
magnifying
you put,
glass. There we go.
yeah, okay. So see where this word is, apostille? From there on down is the actual apostille, but the whole piece of paper is really called an allonge. Um, it consists of 10 10 numbers. Now, here's another interesting something that you will get to know if you decide when you decide to join this business. Every state looks different. Every state has a different color, has a different everything, but they all have the same 10 numbers. And the number that you're most interested in is number 8. And I'm going to talk a little bit about that in a little while. You will. That is the serial number. So so if you're writing that down, we're going to get to that. But there's the allonge and there's the apostille. You there,
Beautiful.
Bill?
Yep,
Okay.
still here. Yeah, so you can see just by looking at an apostille that it can take some of the mystery out of it, right? And then this certificate or allonge will be officially attached in some way to the actual document that was presented for apostillization. So let's look at this. How do people get an apostille? So remember just a few minutes ago, I was telling you about the Hague Convention. Well, in that treaty, they set some rules, and each member nation or Hague country is responsible to designate their competent authorities, which in the United States, for the most part, will be each state's Secretary of State's office. Not always. There are a few states that have designated a different office to handle their apostilles, but for 92% of the states, the competent authority will be the Secretary of State's office. So when a member of the public needs an apostille for a document that's going to be used in a foreign country, remember this: the only entity that can apostilize anything is the appropriate competent authority. Now, the challenge for members of the public is that they've often never heard of an apostille before. Somebody just says, hey, you got to get this thing with the A word on it. You need an apostille or an apostille on there. And then on top of that, there's usually this sense of urgency to getting it. Maybe they're getting married in Punta Cana next week. And then they find out that the Dominican Republic requires a birth certificate with an apostille. Or maybe they're starting a new job in Paris next month. And then they find out that their employer actually requires their college transcripts be apostillized. They have to act fast. And if they're not used to the way government processes work and handling this kind of paperwork and really the bureaucratic process of apostillization, it can be really overwhelming for them. And that's where you come in as an apostille agent. Judi, you want to tell them a little bit about what an apostille agent is?
Yeah. I say this all the time. I think that an apostille agent should have been called an apostille expert because that's what your clients are craving. They're craving your expertise. Remember what Bill said, and I'm telling you, the competent authority can issue the document, but it's you that tells the client what they need. It's you being properly trained and certified can be this beacon of light in this process, and you're going to tell them, no, that's not signed correctly. That Secretary of State will reject that. No, that's the wrong amount of money. No, you're sending it to the wrong place. So you will know how to submit these documents for authentication to both Hague and non-Hague countries because it's a little different, and you'll handle it for them. And let me just say, Most of your clients are very grateful that you will handle that for them, because it's a process that they don't know about. You do, but they don't. So, and then an apostille agent is part of a powerful network, and we can leverage resources that can help you expedite the apostille process. Now, let me tell you some of these resources, okay? Copy certifications if your state allows them. Remote or virtual notarization if your state allows it. Copy certification by document custodian, my personal favorite workaround, if your state allows it. Um, the future of our business, and we don't know a whole lot about it today, but it's something called e-Apostilles, and they've changed the world, and it's just beginning. With this service, a document can be e-Apostille, emailed to the competent authority, and then emailed to the receiving country within a matter of hours. So by using this, you eliminate the waiting, the printing, you eliminate a lot of what takes us so long. Now, we always get a lot of questions about this. So I'm gonna explain this carefully. We have we have about 8 states that have expressed an interest in the pilot. It's coming. It's coming. Just like Ron came, so are EAPs coming. But for right now, really, it's Montana that is doing it. So if you call Maryland, Maryland has expressed an interest in it, but they're going to tell you that they're not doing it right now. So I know we get a lot of questions at the end. Well, who do I call? Well, what do I do? So right now, Montana is on heavy doing it, but the rest of these states they're going to be flying in. And remember when people used to say, oh, Ron will be here, oh, Ron will be here, oh, and then it was 13 states, and then it was 18 states, and today I think it's 44 states. It's coming. E-apps are coming. Um, so I wanted to explain that to you up front. Um, Bill, why do you think notaries make really great apostille agents, even though the law says you don't have to be a notary?
Yeah, no problem. I love this. So, most of you on today's call are notaries, and they are teaching you the apostille agent opportunity for a reason, right? You guys have unique skills that can make you super effective apostille agents. First, you know how to handle and navigate paperwork with an attention to detail that's required for this work. I don't know about you, but I just live for paperwork, staples, special certificates. Like I feel like being a notary was perfect for me. Second, because most of you are regulated by the Secretary of State, you're more familiar with how that office operates, or your competent authority in general. Many of you might be regulated by the same office that handles the apostilles. And then finally, third, most apostille document packages are going to require some kind of notarial act and a certificate. So you being a notary makes the process far more efficient. It's not required to be a notary, but it certainly helps. But there's another factor about this that ties into that, and it's going to blow your minds. 50% of all rejections of apostille packages that get submitted to those competent authority offices, those rejections are due to notarial error.
You believe that?
Blows your
That's a high
mind.
percentage, Bill.
Huge percentage,
Yeah.
which means by simply performing your duties as a notary correctly, you solve half the apostille problems that the public may face. So being an apostille agent fits perfectly under the notary umbrella. Plus, it's insulated from the housing market fluctuations, and it's completely independent of mortgage interest rates. And circling back, contrary to your legislated notarization fees, your duties as an apostille agent, outside of the notarization piece, if you choose to do that, are independent of your notary commission. So you have a lot more flexibility with your fee structure. And remember what I mentioned when we started earlier, I like using the pronunciation apostille because it rhymes with unrestricted fees. You get to bundle your services that include your time for research and processing, your knowledge, your wisdom, and your expertise. And it's interesting, and I love this story. When I was on a road trip out to the Montana Notary Conference, I was listening to a book and I heard the best way to describe the difference between knowledge and wisdom. Knowledge is knowing that a tomato is a fruit, but wisdom is knowing not to put it into a fruit salad. And that's why advanced training, this powerful support network, and really good old fashioned experience is so important in this industry because technically anyone can learn what an apostille is online and then how to submit the request. But understanding the difference in the processes between Hague and non Hague countries, or how to determine the origin of a document, or how to identify an error in a notarial certificate before it gets submitted, that's wisdom. And that's what makes your services as an apostille agent valuable and necessary. So you can offer this bundle of services at a certain fee. And it might be things like this network of professionals across the country that we often talk about. They're called apostille couriers, and they're in every state. And this includes, it's going to be peers, colleagues, the couriers that are in every state to help you get jobs done faster. It might be coordinating the translation of a document if the client requests it, might include notarization. And then the cool thing is, and I think loan signing agents will appreciate this, but you can bundle any associated expenses into your fee structure too. So if you have to print anything out or if you have to ship anything, all of that gets billed to the client. You don't eat that like you do as a loan signing agent.
And I want to add something. Research, your
Yeah, the
time
research
for
time.
research is, you can't charge them for 100 hours of trying to find something. But if you spend 2 or 3 hours trying to figure out where this document came from and where it's going to go and how it's going to get there, and you can charge for that time as long as it's fair market value,
And reasonable, right? Yes, but you get to
reasonable.
bundle it all in there, right? It's not like a line item of anything. So you can see that this can be a very lucrative opportunity for those who want to work it. So speaking of mind blowing, we talked about how there's a high error rate just in the notarial certificates, but another mind blower is just how many apostilles are generated every single year. So I'm going to let Judi tell
Oh,
you a little bit more about why so many people need apostilles in the first place.
this is probably one of the most amazing. Every time we teach this and every time I say this, I find it harder to believe. So people need these things for schools, for corporations. They need these things for so many reasons that if we were going to stay here till 5 o'clock tonight, I could regale you with stories of clients who came to me for pet care, for this, for that, for other things. Now, if you know Bill, then you know the Bill in Webster's dictionary. It says Bill Soroka next to details because Bill likes details. And Bill was trying to figure out how many apostilles were issued ever. And there was not, we were not able. Now I am going to read you something because I can never remember this guy's title. So Bill and I cornered the Secretary General of the Hague Conference on Private International Law while we were at the Montana conference 2 summers ago. And he told us that there are somewhere between 33 million and 55 million apostilles issued every year.
They
And
lost count at 55 million.
they lost count at 55 million. Um, and in case if any of you if any of you have done anywhere between 30, what I say between 33 million and 55 million, I want you to put a 2 in the chat.
I'd be okay with 10% of that.
I'd be okay too. That would be very cool. Anyway, um, sometimes like a destination wedding that Bill was talking about, sometimes they require two apostilles. Sometimes they require a birth certificate and what's called a an affidavit of single status. Sometimes they require more than two, but sometimes the average requires two. And by some estimates, we've seen over 250,000 apostilles issued out of the United States per year. Can you imagine that? 250,000 apostilles. So there's a lot of business and there is a lot that you can do if you're clever and creative. So
Yeah.
let me tell you, I picked out, or we picked out, some additional people who might need apostilles. Students traveling abroad. I'm going to read this. Okay, I can read that. Students traveling abroad, people relocating to a foreign country, powers of attorney, international adoptions, those who might be establishing a business abroad, buying real estate in some countries, claiming an inheritance, filing patents, trademarks, and other legal documents, the good old FBI background checks, and international destination weddings. So there you are. And that's only a snippet. That's just scratching the surface. That's a snippet. Countries, by the way, can require an apostille on anything they want. So if you're trying to sell a property in Spain, Spain can say to you, we want an apostille of your divorce decree or your marriage license or something. They can require an apostille of anything they want. Now, let's get back to our friend at The Hague. Uh, After China joined The Hague, which was back in November of 2023, he told us that they had already processed well over 800,000 apostilles in the first 8 months. And I have to tell you that that was 2023. We haven't seen him yet to get the update. But if you're talking 800,000 in 2023, I would say, I would say, what would you say, Bill? I
Well,
mean,
across the board, we're seeing a 20% increase. So at least a 20% increase every year,
okay.
especially going into 2025. So we're well over a million.
That's what I
That's
think.
true. Yeah.
Again, we don't have that figure, that number confirmed,
Yeah.
but that's where we are. So I've 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 been in this business for a long time, and there are certain misconceptions that you, as notaries, are probably sitting there wondering. It's the same misconceptions that lots of notaries have. So Bill and I decided that we would tackle the three biggest misconceptions that we've come across.
Yeah. Yeah. These are the top three reasons notaries, and you see it in the Facebook groups, you see it all over the place still, even after uh, really making an effort to teach this, but it just stops notaries in their tracks when they hear about apostees.
Yeah.
But I want you to know these are misconceptions and we want you to succeed. So we're just going to clear it up right here. And Judy, I'll let you take misconception number one because this one's
Okay, so
probably the
misconception
most.
number one, and this is one of the most I love this. One of the most frequently asked questions I get is, can I facilitate apostees if I do not live near an SOS office? So if you live, I live, I do live 2.5 hours from my SOS office, and if you're like me, okay, let's go back. If you live 15 minutes from the SOS office, aren't you a lucky one? Because you can ride your bike or use your feet or take an Uber and you can go over there and you can get your documents done. And that will allow you to really offer expedited service. That will allow you, if somebody calls you in the morning and they say, can I get it today? you can do it. If they call me in the morning and say, can I get it today? I have to say, no, I can probably get it for you tomorrow. You can say today. So that's the first thing. If you don't live near the SOS office, the next thing you could do is use an overnight service. But using an overnight service has two things that you need to take into consideration. One is, does that SOS office accept the overnight service that you plan to use? So if they only take FedEx and you're going to use UPS, they're not going to take it. So you have to make sure to find out first what they actually take and how they want to send back. And in Pennsylvania, they will accept the FedEx, but they will only send it back by UPS. So that is something you have to check out. Now, if those don't work, we have a network of couriers that are just standing by waiting to help you. So if you live in California, like my friend Brenda over here, Brenda Charles Edwards, if you live in California like Brenda does, she can get a courier to go to wherever she needs it to go. Because California has, I think it has 67 different counties. So she can get a courier to take it to the right place, get it done, and she and the courier will agree on a fee, and that's how they will get it done. So really, there's nobody in this country that can say they can't do apostilles. So let's go back for a minute. You can ride your bike or walk or take an Uber. And I know someone personally who is a quick train ride from the her SOS. She's on that train almost every morning, making a lot of money. Next would be your overnight. And like I said, caution you. What do they take? What do they accept? And what will they send it back? And what's your time frame? So if your client wants it in 3 days and they're taking 6 weeks, that may not work for you. And then you've got your couriers. So those are your answers to that misconception. Your couriers, by the way, will make you look like a hero. You can send something overnight to a courier, and sometimes they can do it the very next day and get it right back to you or right back to the client, and they will make you look like a hero.
Yeah,
Bill, you want to do misconception number two?
absolutely. And I just want to reiterate that. So, because this is a really powerful point. The reason that you can be a courier in all 50 states, and we even have some that are in Venezuela, Cuba, other
Yeah,
countries,
yeah.
because they lean on their US based couriers that happen to be closely located near the competent authority's office so they can process this stuff. And remember when we talked about bundling the fees, you just build this fee package together and you can pay the courier and you can still make your profit no
Mhm.
matter where you are based. It's
It
really kind of
is.
exciting.
It is your answer to being able to do this kind of work.
And
Once
that,
again, once again, you got to keep your timeline in mind. What are your clients' expectations? When are they expecting it back? And the cost. And I want you to know right up front, the cost is between you and the courier. We don't get involved in the cost. So you call a courier and you say, I have a job and I need it back by next Thursday. And the courier says, okay, I can do that. And this is the cost. And you say, okay, done. Now there are two kinds of couriers. One of them will look at your job and help you. You pay a little more for that. And one of them will just walk your job into the SOS and get it done. We're not going to get into all of that because that's all we talk a lot about that in our course.
yeah, that's true. And this all feeds right into misconception number two, guys. And this is what I hear a lot too, is notaries think that you can only do apostille work in the state that you're a commissioned notary. So I just again want to reiterate, this is my favorite misconception to tear down because I personally love freedom. I love to travel and I love to be able to transact business while I'm traveling, make money while I'm on the road. I've got this terrible case of wanderlust or a really good one, depending on your perspective. And one of my biggest disappointments with the notary business has been that I've had to have my feet planted in the same state as my commission in order to make a living. And the road is calling me, and I want to answer. And working as an apostille agent allows that to happen. You can organize and facilitate apostilles from anywhere in the world, thanks to that nationwide network of couriers that Judi just mentioned. You can make the phone ring through Google Business Profile, your website, whatever it is. You perform the intake, you take the calls, you quote the scope of the work, quote a fee, and then you can outsource the work to your network of trusted couriers wherever the documents originate and need to be apostillized. So you can do that from the beach. You can do that from your RV traveling across the country. You can do it in an airplane, a boat, a different country, or yes, even Fantasy Island. And then the third misconception that we hear so much about is it's hard to make money because notary fees are too low. So it's important we talk about this and clarify this.
I'll bet none of you knew that Granny was a notary.
I did not know that.
I know I didn't either. I made it up.
As an apostille agent, you're not acting solely in capacity as a notary public. You're an independent expert and a consultant. And I touched on this a little earlier, but it's basically what you're doing here is helping clients navigate international documentation or the authentication, right? And because of that, you can charge for your expertise, your time, and of course, all the expenses that are associated with that particular job. And your going rate for your apostilles is going to depend on what the market may bear in your area. But here's the cool thing. No matter what, you do not have a legislated cap on it. The market's going to tell you what you can charge. And you can find out what the market may bear through a little bit of due diligence, a little bit of research, most of which can be done online. Research your competition. But first, grasp a full understanding of what your product actually is as an apostille agent. And then identify key systems that are going to help you be more efficient and stand out in a sea of sameness.
I,
Because
I
just
want to
like,
add. Oh, go ahead, Bill. I'm sorry.
yeah, no problem.
No,
Like
go ahead.
any product or service you offer, you're going to be paid in direct proportion to the value you bring in the marketplace. And that's why it's so important to go the extra mile. Get the training, education, build your network, especially of couriers that are going to help you bring more value to your client relationships. And that's how you build a lucrative business that's not only going to last, but it's going to thrive no matter what. And that's what brings us to the offer portion of today's training, like we talked about at the very beginning of this call. I told you one of the greatest lessons I've ever learned in business was to take advice from those who have the results you want. And Judi Lawrence has earned her title of Queen of Apostilles for a reason. Her firm, Center City Notary and Apostille, dominates downtown Philadelphia and beyond, right? She facilitates apostilles in all 50 states. And she has this course that we've created called the World of Apostilles, which she calls sexier. I'll take that. And we're going to take a few minutes now just to tell you a little bit about what the course is and the special offer that we have for you today. We've done something a little different today because we've heard your feedback. So we've got a couple different options here for you. So let's take a quick look at what this could look like for you today. So the World of Apostilles course and a support community, it's a collaboration between Judi and I. It features over 60 individual and on-demand video lessons. So you can watch these whenever you want. They will take you from being brand new, an apostille novice, in other words, to an expert in international document authentication. Each video lecture is accompanied by additional notes, content, insights. There's downloads for a lot of these lessons just to help further solidify your understanding. And then each module also has ways to check your understanding along the way. And you will learn how to process documents both for those Hague countries and those non-Hague countries that we talked about. Plus, Judi walks you through some of the most common documents that you'll see presented for apostillization. So what's cool about that is you can tap into her years of experience and you can avoid the common pitfalls for the most common documents. And then Judi and I work together to share business and marketing tactics that help you get more work as an apostille agent. So this isn't just about learning how to do it. This is about learning how to build a business doing it. And we have tips that include relationship building strategies, gaining repeat customers, because there's a lot of repeat business in the apostille world. Plus tips on how to boost your online visibility so customers can find you when they need you for these apostille services. Now, but wait, there is more. I love saying that. Anyone can throw up a course and send you on your way, but Judi loves this work. And I've never seen a teacher so committed to her students and their success.
No.
So more than just 60 plus videos, more than the downloads and the course content, and of course, the digital badge and the certification that you get when you pass the test. This course, The World of Apostilles, features world-class support directly with Judi. So as you're making your way through the lessons, every month, Judi offers her study hall live on Zoom where you can meet her, you can hang out with your fellow students, you can learn current events because this is constantly changing, and you can ask her anything. But it doesn't stop there. Once you're certified, you immediately get a one-on-one business implementation call with Judi, like on the telephone or on Zoom, whatever you prefer. So you can put this certification to work immediately and start making some money. And then, even then, it doesn't stop with the support. As your business grows and you start to expand and you start to get new clients, she offers exclusive access to her via text message. So all you have to do when you're nervous about a new client or you've got this big job or you got some questions, all you have to do is text her NCN, new client now. And she'll schedule a call back with you to get you the help that you need. And on top of that, we do special advanced study halls where you can, so she can be there wherever you're at as you grow this business and your career progresses. And here's what I think you'll love, because we just brought this back today after hearing some feedback from you. The World of Apostille course is now available again as a standalone course. And it's just $249 as a one-time fee. So what that means is you can get instant access to the program, and it's Thursday. So you can be certified probably within the next 72 hours. We've seen people go faster than that or take longer than that. It just depends on what you have going on this weekend. So you take the course, you pass the test, and then all you have to do is book your business implementation call so Judi can help you get started right away and be ready for your first customer. So you can start making money. It can be that fast. 3 simple steps to add a new revenue stream to your current notary business by Monday. And it's only $249 at notarycoach.com/apostille, or you can scan the QR code, or you can use the link in the chat. But of course, we wanted to add even more value to this, right? Because that's just kind of how we roll. So we added these crazy good bonuses to this. We know that marketing and finding customers is going to be top of mind. As soon as you pass that test, you're going to be like, okay, great, I'm certified. Now what? So crazy bonus number 1 is the marketing roundtable. Now we recorded this already. It's in there for you, where you can hear directly from active apostille agents about what they're doing right now to both find and keep clients for that repeat business. And on crazy bonus number 2, you get these government administrator access calls. It's a mouthful too. But on these calls, you get to hear directly from the staff at the competent authority about current trends, technology shifts, because we know those are coming, and of course, common errors and pitfalls and how to avoid them. In fact, we've got a great one with Lori Ham, formerly with the Montana Secretary of State's office. And it was a training all about those e-apps. all about electronic apostilles and how that could change the industry and how you can leverage, in particular, Montana remote online notaries to help put that into action right now. All built in there. And Gerard, great question on the coupon codes. There are no coupon codes necessary. This is the normal cost of the course is $399. You're getting it for $249 today, and it's already built into that website. And finally, crazy bonus number 3 is the PDF edition of that book, Your Passport to Apostilles on 116 tips to build a thriving business as an apostille agent. This is all included in the course and is all part of our commitment to help you succeed as an apostille agent. And it's just $249. It's a one-time payment. You get lifetime or forever access to the course material. You can jump in, re-access it, take it again, go back from one particular lesson, whatever you'd like to do on there. So if you're ready to tap into this opportunity now, I already see there's several of you who have already done that. So thank you and welcome.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
But type it into the chat so we can see it too and give you a proper welcome here on the call too as we move into the Q&A portion. Now, I also want to go over, because we have 2 options for you now. This is the shift that we implemented today, right? Now, if you prefer a lower price point for entry and you prefer to have even more courses, we also offer membership in High Performance Notary on the school platform. So here's how this works. For a $49 a month subscription, in addition to receiving the World of Apostilles certification course and community, you can get all of these bonus programs inside of HPN. The first one is the Certified Reverse Mortgage Signing Professional Program, where you learn how to facilitate unique loan signing appointments for the senior community. The second is my Sign and Thrive Loan Signing Agent course. And then we know that you get 90% of your leads from Google Business Profile. That's how this business works. So we've included Jim Allen's popular course, Google Business Profile Mastery. That's how to optimize your Google listing and get more clients. Plus my morning mastery program with the daily dues, so you can learn how to reach out to customers every single day that could potentially hire you or refer you for hire. We have search engine optimization training, social media content. All of those courses are in there, and it's all the $49 a month where you can cancel anytime. So I'm going to post the link for that in here as well. The good news is, no matter what, the link will get you to either the one-time apostille fee or the subscription, whichever one is best for you. So you have 2 options. You can join High Performance Notary on the school platform, where you not only receive the full and complete World of Apostilles certification course and community, but you receive access to those 7 other courses as well. All of them are on-demand programs that you can watch on your own, schedule anytime. There's no rush to get them all done now. You can take your time. Plus, when you join, you'll get the crazy good bonuses as well that we talked about as well, so that you don't lose out on anything. The other cool thing too, I don't know if you guys know this, but inside of High Performance Notary, you get all of my books, all PDF versions of Sign and Thrive, How to Make 6 Figures as a Mobile Notary Loan Signing Agent, the LinkedIn book, the Building Notary Business Building Challenge, Beyond Loan Signings, and of course, Your Passport to Apostilles, all for
And
49
of
bucks.
course, that new one that we're going to write that we haven't even talked about yet.
Surprise to me, I guess, huh?
Surprise!
It's probably coming. I love it. Now, that's one option. The other option, of course, is just doing the standalone course. If that is more your cup of tea, we want you to be able to have it. You can get the World of Apostilles all by itself, but it still gets all the lessons, the content, all the support. You get access to Judi plus the crazy good bonuses, all for just $249 as a one-time fee. And you can get access to both of those programs at the link in the chat as I'm going to update it here. There you go. Okay. So thank you for that. Thank you for your time and attention to that. Let me just get to the thank you screen. I love this thank you screen. So we're going to
My
move
favorite.
into the Q&A portion of the call. And
Before we move into the Q&A,
yeah,
I want to say something. Um, why I collaborate with Bill, he told you a few times why he collaborates with me and how he respects how I feel about my students. He is the exact same way. And you will find him helping anyone anytime that he can. But I want to say about the high performance notary courses and my course is, could you find these courses with someone else? Absolutely. There's a zillion people out there that they take one course and then they hang up their shingle and they say, I'm a teacher now, and they haven't even done anything yet. What we offer is the best support you could get. So what I'm saying to you is you have to think beyond just taking the course. And you have to think beyond, oh my God, that first person just called. I have no idea. I thought I knew, I don't know. And that's when you call me at NCN and you say, just help me get through this call. Or you have to call Bill and say, it's not working. And Bill might recommend that you take the SEO training and see if you're set up right for SEO. So what I'm saying is we think we're like-minded in that whatever we give you, we're not leaving you in the lurch. You will
yeah.
always get the support you need. And I feel that that is the winning ticket, the winning lottery ticket for the two of us.
I agree with you. And I think what's kind of unique about our approach too, as we move in here, I promise we're going to get to these questions, but you just sparked something, Judy.
Mhm.
You know, you're in the trenches. You've been working apostilles for years. I've been working as a loan signing agent, a trust delivery agent. Of course, I have courses and books and all that too. But, you know, I was in the field for many, many years. And I found a system where I could earn almost a $500,000 a year as a notary for 10 years on that. And that's the system. Just last year, I said, you know what? I'm going to go back to the roots of what this is. What did I do every single day that made that possible? And that's what I teach in high performance notary. It's just back to basics and it's nothing fancy. It's no special tool that made this new. There's no hack, there's no shortcut. It is good old fashioned prospecting, reaching out to people who might hire you and or hire you and fire you. They might hire you or refer you and boosting your online visibility so people can find you when they need you. And you do that consistently every single day, even when it's boring. And that's what I teach in high performance notary. So I want to move into the Q&A section. And Judy, if it's
Okay.
okay with you, I want to address Susie's question first because she was kind enough to repost it later. She says, electronic apostille would mean anyone can do,
I saw that.
or do
Yeah.
you see a need for us to be there? And I just want to, I love this question because I think we, as a business person, we need to be thinking about this. But how I would preface this, first of all, Susie, is that right now, anybody in the public can do their own apostilles, even right now,
Yep.
today.
Yep.
They can do it. The problem is that it can get convoluted and confusing very easily. And the public doesn't recognize errors in notarial certificates. They have no idea. They have no comprehension of that. They don't understand the difference between Hague countries and non-Hague countries, and they don't understand how to determine the origin of a document. You know, from the outside looking in, that when you've never done them before, it's very confusing. So that premise that you ask about already exists today. So making it easier to submit an apostille might have some impact, yes, but all of these other questions, all of these other challenges will remain the same. They're going to, most people are going to need some kind of guide that says, no, I know it seems like it would make sense that way, but it's not. Trust me, I'm a professional. A
Um,
lot of people value their time over their money. There's a lot of things I could do on my own right now. I could clean my own house, but I hire a housekeeper. I could mow my own lawn, but I hire
Right.
somebody else to mow my lawn. Those are the customers that will always exist no matter what.
And I want to piggyback on what you just said because it's 100% correct. It's also 100% correct that you will get a customer who will say, I can do this myself. I'm fine. Just notarize the document. I'm fine. Now we live 2.5 hours away, and they always tell me, I'm going to go visit my cousin up in Harrisburg. I always say there's a Harrisburg Cousins Club up there somewhere, and you let them do it, and you just smile and say, okay, because they won't do it the second time. The second time, they will have taken a 2.5 hour ride up, a 2.5 hour ride back. Sometimes they have to sit there for an hour and a half before somebody can work with them. And sometimes they get rejected. So you smile and you say, okay, and if I can help you in the future, please let me know and let them do it. But the majority of the people, like Bill said, their time is really important. Corporate people, they don't want to do it at all. Corporate people are not the least bit interested. They will give you the documents and say, tell me what day I can pick them up.
Yep. So true. Great question. Okay,
Great question.
I'm just looking at some of the questions. I purchased this many moons
Me
ago.
too.
Okay. So if you've previously purchased the World of Apostilles course, you automatically get the new updated sexier version of the course. Just email me at orders@notarycoach.com. I'll type this into the chat for you and we will make that transition for you. Easy peasy.
Okay.
Great, Sharon. Totally understand when you're ready. So, Evelise, yes, I will. This has been
Oh,
posted.
Messina. Hi, Philly girl.
Evelise, I know that you are already in high performance notary, so you already have access to this course. So I don't want you to have to pay twice. It is already included in your membership in high performance notary. So you can find that in the HPN classroom under the classroom tab.
Okay, I'm going to take this question. How that sounds awesome. Around how much does an apostille bring?
Yeah.
I'm going to take that question because Bill and I were just talking about that this morning. So I'm gonna answer it in two ways. The first way is you have to you have to know what your costs are. So you have to make sure that you know what is it costing you to go visit the client, what is it costing you to deliver it back to the client, what is it costing you to ship to the SOS, what is it costing you for a notary, what's the state fee, what are these costs? And then what's your profit? Because you want a little bit of profit in there for you, right? And that is what I call your base fee. That's your base fee. Now, if somebody comes in or meets you and says, I need this tomorrow morning and it's already 3 o'clock in the afternoon and you can do it, then add a bunch of money to that base fee because you're helping them do something that they can't do. If somebody calls you and says, I have 20 documents, and by the way, I don't need them for a month, cut them a break, give them a little discount, because that's going to be some good cash rolling in for you. So there is no black and white answer. The black and white answer is always no. Your base expenses, your costs. And it's easy. It's easy to know your costs. You know what you have to pay for a notary. You know what the Secretary of State's going to charge you. You can find out your shipping costs. These are easy peasy costs. These are easy things to do. But don't forget to add in profit for you and then go from there. Now, the other thing I want to say that, and this is Bill taught me this, is what the market bears. So what the market bears depends upon where you are. If you are in New York City, um, a bagel and a cup of coffee costs you $30, and that's in a corner deli, right? But if you're in Philadelphia, that same bagel and cup of coffee on the corner deli is only $6 or $7. So you've got to know, are you in a high volume state? I can't get the same number that my colleagues in New York can get. So why go out and try to look for it when I'm not going to get the business? So always think about, where are you? If you're in a place, if you're in Texas, what's the market bear in Texas? What are other people? I'm smiling at Diana. What are other people getting in Texas? Takes a little homework, takes a little due diligence, but you'll figure it out. Bill, you got anything to add to that?
No, I think you did a great job of explaining that because that's one of the most common questions. And I know there's so many variables that it's hard to say.
Mm-hmm.
But what I can tell you, because I've been in conversations with apostille agents, is it's lucrative. You can build in, your time is very valuable, and you can
Mm-hmm.
build in a cushion on this. And as you start getting more familiar with the dance about how it what it looks like, the amount of time it's going to take you. You start connecting with other apostille couriers and agents. You'll start to formulate your own structure for this. You
Bill,
can
should I try my
trust.
new explanation?
Sure, yeah. You want to do that?
Should
That's
I try? I have a new explanation
yeah.
about pricing. So, gentlemen, who's ever on this call, I am not offending you, but I do not think you're going dress shopping this afternoon. But I'm going to talk about buying a dress. And I'm going to say that if you go in and you have a big fancy party to go to and you see this dress and you don't even ask any questions except how much does it cost? And the salesperson says $300. And you go, $300? Oh my God. And the sales lady says, but wait, hold on. It's silk. And the silk came from the finest silk factory in Paris. And and look at this and look at the lace. Now, look at the top of the dress and you see that line right there? Well, you can unzip right here, and instead of a long sleeve dress, you can have a sleeveless dress. So if you're going out and you're going to go to a wedding, you could take the jacket off and you could have dance and have fun, and then the sales lady points out many things to you, and by that time you're like, okay, here's my credit card because I want that dress, right? Well, if you attribute that to apostilles, if you say to a client, I can get this for you in a couple of days, I can do your notary, I can put the proper acknowledgement on there or certificate or whatever else it is we decide you need. I can. And then you give them your price. They're going to say, okay, all right, I understand. It's expensive. Here's my credit card. Do it. So Bill calls it stacking your value. Stack your value. Make sure you let the person know that, hey, when you walk away from me, you will have to do nothing except receive the finished apostille. I will take care of everything. That is something that I think you should consider when you're thinking about pricing.
Yes, I love that. And that right there, that lesson about stacking your value works not just for apostilles, but for anything.
Mm-hmm.
We hear this all the time. You hear some jaded notaries out there that say, all anybody cares about is the price. They call me and ask me the price. I tell them the price and they hang up on me.
Mm-hmm.
But if you take gentle control of the call and you
Mm-hmm.
ask questions and you find out what the problem is that they're really trying to solve, you can stack your value
That's right.
and you can close way more appointments than just giving them what they think they want. They think they just want the price, but the
No.
reality is they have a problem that needs solving and they need a professional who can solve that for them. So that's good advice.
So it's my new way of saying stack your value. And guys, I think the same thing would be if you were shopping for a new suit. Okay. I want to answer this one more question where somebody said, "How do you get couriers?" And somebody else said, "Go to TikTok, go to Facebook." I don't know where it is right now. Go to TikTok, go to Facebook, go all over, and everyone will lead you in the right direction. I have to take a little bit of issue with that. because on TikTok and Facebook and Instagram and all of these things, there may be people, but they aren't vetted and they aren't people that we know that can do this job. And here you are, and believe me, there are many wonderful, wonderful couriers out there. Um, but when somebody's been vetted and when somebody we know who they are, that means that you are giving your client's documents to a person who we have some idea the name of their business. Can it backfire? Of course it can. Anybody can tell you anything, but we vet all our couriers, and I would be a little bit reluctant to go on Facebook and say, hey, I need a courier to go to Chestnut Street. Anybody? I don't know. I feel a little funny giving my client's documents to somebody who just showed up. I am not saying it can't work. I know it can work. I'm sure it can work. But I think you should do the tried and true vetted work. Bill,
Yes.
anything?
I totally agree. So the challenge is that there, with the vetting process, is on social media, guys. There's a lot of kind-hearted people who have really good intentions
Mhm.
in sharing information. It's just may not be accurate for your particular situation. And we run into this a lot on the notary side. You get great advice from this amazing notary in Florida, but you're in Iowa and you have different laws and it doesn't apply. So then you go and you try to do Florida stuff in Iowa. So you've really got to be just selective of who you're learning from. And it's not to
And
say there's
ask
not some good information out there. There is
and
many.
ask questions.
Yeah.
Ask questions. If you're going to pick up a courier on Facebook, ask them how many jobs have you couriered? When have you done it? What have you done? Don't be afraid to ask questions, because that's how you're going to find out who that person is. If somebody says, well, I haven't done it, but I'm thinking about doing it, you might want to wait till they get a little bit of experience under their belt.
All
Bill?
right, I want to talk about one question I'm trying to answer. I'm trying to type it too, so I'm just going to say it. And this is for Julian. Welcome to HPN and the World of Apostilles course. So glad you're here. This is on the school platform, SKOOL, which you know, obviously, but other people may not. And there is an amazing, very highly reviewed app that they have. It's available in all app stores. You can download that. Just use the same email address that you just registered with, and it will bring up any community that you sign up with on school platform, and it makes it real easy to start. Also, we've worked really hard to set that up for new users. So if you follow the welcome post, it will walk you through the welcome video that will help you just navigate and kind of find your way around, like which tabs you should be looking at, where you might be interested right now. If your World of Apostille course is not unlocked for you just yet, trust that it will be in the next few minutes. I just happen to be on this call right now, so I may not be able to unlock it right away, but it will get there. It is included in the $49, as well as most of the other classes too, all the classes that we just described today. And then also, there's a plan. There's a 9-step high performance notary action plan that will walk you through how to implement whatever you're focusing on right now. We're talking about apostilles. If you want this, if you're ready to focus on this right now in the first month of the last quarter of 2025, this is the perfect time to do this. We have the plan for you on that. So we
Okay.
got some
And
other great questions on here too. Judy, did you have one that you wanted to jump to?
no, I have somebody said, do people really make a living from strictly dealing with apostilles?
Oh my gosh,
Uh,
yeah.
I think that you can make a nice living. And it's hard to answer a question and say, do people really make a living? Because we don't know how much time you're willing to put into making that living. So, are you set up? Do you have a website? Do you have a Google My Business profile? Are you set to make a living. But if you're set to make a living, yes, you can definitely make a really good living. I'm here to tell you.
I will tell you that I know several entrepreneurs that started out as notaries and then learned apostilles and very quickly became apostille agents. You know,
Mhm.
they still use their notary commission because it's efficient as an apostille agent, but what they earn as an apostille agent far outweighs anything they ever made as a mobile notary. There's
Yep,
a lot of profit available.
yep. And I'll tell you something else. If you get a client and you do a good job for them, they'll be back. Most people, if they need an apostille once, they're going to need an apostille again and again and again. So, yep, you can make a living, but you have to work. It's you have to work at it, just like you had to work at becoming a loan signing agent. It didn't fall in your lap. You had to learn it. Am I
Yeah,
correct?
exactly. So I want to talk a little bit about the reason for that. So it makes so much sense. So think about um, people who come into this country, they start businesses, they start buying real estate, but they still have roots wherever they came from,
Mm,
right? Whatever country they are from, they have family. They might have businesses there too. They might have real estate there, or they want to buy real estate there or anywhere in the world.
mhm,
They tend to they move to communities with other people from those
mhm,
countries. So once they find somebody that they trust and somebody who's treated them well and with respect, it spreads like wildfire. You got to call Judy. You got to call Brenda. You got to call Bill because they take care of us.
mhm.
And
That's true.
that's how this happens.
He is telling the truth. They they won't go away from you because you've already shown them that you know how to do it. And you know how to, and your job was delivered on time and it was delivered correctly.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can do it. And Cassandra Burton is here and she said she's been vetted by my group and I know she has, and I know she does a great job. Um, Anybody else have any questions?
Yeah, there was a couple in here. I just want to get in here. Oh, yeah, there's Cassandra. Do people make it? Okay. There was one I wanted to make sure that we got in here.
Okay.
I think this was from Joe. I know I saw it in here. Oh, is the certificate from you guys? This is a certification legal in Pennsylvania or any other state or country? So, Joe, what a great question about certification. And, Judy and I are really upfront about this. Certification is not a requirement to do this. Certification is a sign of commitment from you that you're taking this seriously and you've gone through extra training to get it done, to do the job the right way, but also to get your foot in the door. You get a lot of people whose doors are shut to you until you say, hey, I'm certified in this. I can help solve your company's problems. I can solve your family's problems because I've gone through the training. I understand how to do this. I can be that beacon of light to you. And that's why we created the certification program in the first place. And we used a Credible as our partner in that. So it's blockchain secure. Anybody can go to your wherever you decide to put it on your social media, on your website, on your email signature, and they can see about Notary Coach, our commitment to high standards, the education, and that yes, you are actually certified. You didn't just go and download a certificate from the internet and call yourself certified. So it is for use all over the world. You do not have to have your feet in the United States to be an apostille agent. There are couriers in every state that you can hire and lean on to help you fulfill your orders from anywhere. Great question. Love that.
I love all your questions and I love all of the interest that you have shown. And I love the fact that you were willing to take an hour and a half out of your Thursday to spend with us. And I hope that you decide to join our Lynn family, our notary coach family, and learn this business with us because It's a great business, and it's only going to get greater, if you want that word, because more people are doing more things abroad.
I told you earlier that there's a 20% increase, right? So California is on track on the 20% increase. They're almost going to hit, they're estimated 500,000 apostilles processed this year. That's 20% more than last year. Judi, what is it in Pennsylvania? Wasn't it like 280,000 or something?
Something like that,
100,000?
and it's growing. And I wanted to tell Gail Dugan, who said she's in Scranton and the Pocono area, to give me a call because I don't know a lot about that area, but I would like to. And so give me a call and let's talk about it.
Yeah.
Somebody's knocking on my door. There's a sign on my door that says, if you're hearing knocking, there's a sign on my door that says we're at a webinar and we'll be until at least 1:30, and that person probably didn't read it. But okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry if that noise is distracting you.
No, we
Um,
can't hear it.
and it says, thank you, Bill and Judith. This was awesome. If you have questions, I'm going to put my phone number in the chat.
Yes,
And
all states do apostilles, including New Jersey. Every single state in the union
yep,
does apostilles.
yep.
You all have a competent authority that handles these.
And then there's more.
And
I
then
want to
there's
say something.
more.
And then
Yeah.
there's more. I want to say something. Bill and I are going to be together in Los Angeles on Sunday, November 9th, to celebrate Notary Public Day. So if you happen to be a notary in California and you are close to Los Angeles, text me. We don't have our landing page and our thing ready yet, but I have a whole lot of people on my list. Bernice, I'm looking right at you. Bernice is coming. And we'll be there and we'll not only be able to talk about apostilles, but we're just going to hang out and have fun.
Absolutely. I'm really looking forward to that because I need a little bit of a break because I'm in the middle of a move too. But I want to talk about this too because I just feel like this is a point I just want to make sure everybody gets.
Okay.
So, and I appreciate, I'm typing it in here for you as well. Jay Kane says, I'm concerned that with so many in Pennsylvania, how is there a huge need for apostilles? So the first part of that question is, in Pennsylvania, as we just mentioned, there's hundreds of thousands being processed in the state of Pennsylvania alone. But more than that, the whole message and the point I want to make clear about apostille work is this is not about working only in your state.
Oh, you work everywhere.
This is about scaling to a level that's more than you walking into a competent authority or Secretary of State's office. This is about you being able to facilitate a
Mhm.
huge percentage of those 55 million apostilles that get generated every year because you can operate in every single state. You can coordinate birth certificates in Idaho, death certificates in Texas, divorce decrees in California. All of that can be coordinated by you no matter what state you're in because you can either ship the documents, as Judi mentioned, or you
Mhm.
can lean on a nationwide network of apostille couriers to help facilitate every single one of those orders. So when people think that there's uh, what's that word that I hear all the time?
Not
They think there's
too many apostille agents?
too many apostilles, too many notaries. Well,
No,
I can't think of that
no,
word, dang it. But
no,
there's just not, there just can't be because
no.
of the sheer volume of the work.
So let me give you a real quick explanation because I know we're almost out of time. I live in Pennsylvania, but had I been born in California, my living here in Pennsylvania wouldn't make one bit of difference. My birth certificate would still have to be apostilled in California where it originated. So for a Pennsylvania apostille person, you would just be doing the job in California. So it doesn't just mean you're going to be doing work for people in Pennsylvania. You're going to be doing work for people all over the place.
Yeah. Awesome question. And yes, oversaturated was the word I was looking
Oh,
for.
saturation, right.
It just, we have some really standout students who have gone above and beyond in search engine optimization and really worked to pinpoint and get business from multiple states for apostilles, and it really works out well. They lean on their network of couriers, other notaries, relationships that they've built, and they can facilitate these things anywhere. And then in states where Ron is legal, that just opens up a
Oh,
whole
yeah.
other avenue for you. So I hope to see you in there. This is exciting. Thank you for your time. I know Judi has to go. She's got somebody pounding down her
Oh,
door.
no, I don't.
Really?
I'm fine.
Oh,
No,
you took
I'm
care of
fine.
that?
There's a knocker, but he'll be keep knocking. I forgot where, but I know PA doesn't accept FedEx deliveries. I guess it just depends. The Secretary of State in Pennsylvania will only accept a FedEx delivery, but they will only send it back to you UPS. So I don't know why. I have no idea. Um, my guess was always that at the end of the day, who's ever dropping the packages off lives right near a UPS store. That could be my only guess because they will not send you back anything FedEx. So that means if you send them a FedEx label to come back to you, that means they're going to take your documents, they're going to put them in an envelope, hand address it to you, put postage on it, and you'll get it when you get it. That's what that means. So it's always good to check the internet or give them a quick call and make sure whatever state you're working in, I mean, I just did one for Maryland. Whatever state you're working in, you have to know what to send them and what label to send them to send it back to you. And Bill said it eloquently, just because you're in Pennsylvania, you're going to be working all over the place.
Yeah.
It's a great business. It's so much fun. I always tell Bill, I was in 5 countries today and I never left Philly.
Yeah.
And you'll meet a lot of really nice people, um, and try to find people in your own area that you can buddy up with and mentor with. And if you can do that, they may already know more about pricing in that area. Or, I always tell people maybe they don't want to work on Tuesday and you don't want to work on Thursday. So you take the calls on Tuesday and they take the calls on Thursday. There's a lot of information that you can get by making a friend.
You got to have your notary buddies.
Thomasina, Philadelphia, right? Call me. I want to know where you are. Anybody Philly? I want to know where you are. And I have couriers that will help you.
Oh, Irani is there. Oh, Thomasine is physically in Georgia right now.
Okay.
Oh, Jay Kane's in Center City right here. All right.
There
Look at
you
you.
go.
You got some
Somebody Garrett's in
PA friends.
Harrisburg. Trish is in media. Gotta have a meetup. Gotta do that. Oh, anybody else? Anybody else have any questions that we can answer?
Anybody want to talk and ask? You can raise your hand. Portia's in LA County. Nice.
Yeah.
Syracuse.
Portia, you coming to our event in LA?
We'll get the details out on that soon.
Yep.
All right, lovely. Well, thank you so much for sharing your Thursday afternoon with this. Judi, thank you again as Queen of
No,
Apostilles,
thank you
sharing your
again. And
wisdom.
love all of you. And I hope that we get many of you to join our Apostille family. And we keep learning every day. That's the beauty of this business. You keep learning every day. New things happen all the time.
Absolutely.
Ha-
And Patty,
Happy
looking forward to
birthday,
seeing you.
Diana.
See you guys later. Thank you so much.
Bye, everyone.
All right. Bye bye.
Bye bye.